Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Foundry Reviews. Today, it is I, Sly, accompanied by John and Ken, for a new series to the channel. We are going to be looking at Star Wars Skeleton Crew Episode 1. This could be a real adventure. Boys, how we doing?
Doing just
dude.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to hear it. Just in time for a new series, a new episode. Man, I'm pretty pleased with this one.
Yeah, I know we were all quite skeptical hearing about it because of the track record that Star Wars has had. So going into it, I know that we all were just like, let's get it over with, you know. And actually watching it, super happy, and I wouldn't say impressed, because like I knew they could be capable of it. It's not like they, did something like completely amazing or impressive, but I was very satisfied with it and very just kind of pleased by the end of watching the first episode. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm digging the vibe. Like I think as with most of the other shows, like the set design, very good. Costumes, pretty damn good for the most part. Some of the
practicals are
look a little
lovely,
bit.
right?
Yeah, I love that they do more practicals for a lot of this stuff. Like the aliens always look a little wonky, like that wolf dude that came in. Like it's like, damn, that's just a dude with a wolf mask. But like, you know, it still looks pretty damn good. It's believable. It's like, it feels like an old school callback, because I feel like there's like a wolf type character in the original trilogy somewhere.
Yeah, in the very first, like in the bar, like in the Mos Eisley Cantina, there's like a werewolf guy.
Yeah, there's even like a
exactly.
wolf Jedi in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars movie.
Oh, really? I forgot.
Yeah,
about
he's
that.
freaking cool,
That's
dude.
awesome.
Oh,
That's sick. So I'm glad that they're doing stuff like that, and just the overall vibe of the show. I'm a fan. It's like a piratey kind of adventure. I mean, not so much like anything crazy, but like there's, I don't know, something new. There's like mystery to it. So I like it.
Yeah, there's like not a huge kind of direction with where it's going. I can't really anticipate it, but like I was enjoying it. Like they pulled like tons of references, like even just like the opening scene. I was so on board. I was so in love with it, and I'm like, this feels very different from anything they've done in a fat minute, you know. Like I haven't seen like a decent, just like small little action scene from Star Wars like in a fat minute that I enjoyed. But
yeah, it was. They pulled that straight out of like a pirate movie for sure. Like they were boarding a ship. They had like those things to like connect to the ship, and then
grappling hooks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and yeah,
they had guys taking out the turrets. Like it was like
a lot of
attention
attention to detail with that stuff. And yeah, I like that big old werewolf guy with the dual pistols and stuff like that. He was really cool.
Yeah,
like a huge.
I thought he was gonna be the captain.
Me
Oh
too.
my God.
Like he was just an enforcer, I guess. It was like a huge, like a vast amount of like aliens and like just kind of different like misfits, like on on the like crew, I guess, of the pirate.
Yeah.
Of the team pirates, pretty much, and just going on there trying to rob him. I mean, like we can infer the dude wearing the helmet, the captain who got mutinized. That's probably Jude Law.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
He
gonna
didn't
say
take his mask off, but it's like, yeah, it seems about right.
it's really cool to see like the like physically have like Republic credits in this episode as well, with like the lunch money and the one on the ground and stuff like that. The whole suburban, like kind of futuristic, like almost like Fallout 80s kind of thing like that, but like it kind of reminded me of the Guardians 3 when they like were going through the suburban neighborhood too. Do you guys remember that?
A little bit. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Felt very weird, but I was interested and went with it. But everything just feels so familiar. Like they didn't do anything new, but it wasn't like a carbon copy. They just started doing like a lot of just stuff that was already existing, and they just took a little bit from here, took a little bit from there. They did like the Tarantino effect, you know, where they didn't create anything. They didn't create a fire. They just kind of went around and just kind of stole a bunch of vibes and feels from all over, and it came together, and I really liked it. Got our main characters, a couple of kids, and they hijack a starship, they called it, or a Jedi temple, if you will.
That was goofy.
What do you guys think about like canonizing like them playing with action figures, like using the Force
Ooh.
and stuff. Like I feel like that's so weird. I kind of don't like it, but it's so weird to me.
I don't know. It is funny, but it kind of makes sense because like from one aspect, it's like it's weird to see like kids in universe playing with action figures like we would have when we were kids. But also it kind of makes sense because we have action figures for like different roles in society.
Yeah, like a policeman, firefighter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like the same idea. They just have it in universe, and they have way cooler ones because they have like Jedi and shit. So it's like I thought it was interesting, and it just like kind of brought me back to a simpler time a little bit because you kind of like put yourself in the shoes of these kids. And you're like, you know, if I was in the Star Wars universe and I was a kid like this, that's exactly the shit I would be doing.
Yeah,
like I'd be like playing like lightsabers with my friends or some bullshit like that, and that's exactly what they did. And I thought that was like corny as shit, but I loved it.
Yeah, I'm saying like the lot of the acting, I felt like, oh, like this child is a child, you know, like I'm annoyed with this child being a child. Like everything felt like it was supposed to, you know, nothing felt like kind of out of place or wrong. Like I wasn't a fan of it because the child was acting kind of like a selfish little shit, you know, at times. But like
kids,
yeah, exactly. That is a kid. Like that's him acting like a kid. I love his best friend. His best friend is like my favorite.
I love
him on
If anything
screen.
happens
He's so
to that
cute.
Man, I will rebel. I will burn down Disney Studios if anything happens to my guy.
We're gonna buy him a
I
drum
know,
set.
right?
He's so cool. He's so fun. I just love when he talks. He's got like the cutest like little comb over too. He's so cute, dude.
Yeah,
Main
he's
character.
definitely my favorite.
Main character. What's his name?
Whim.
Okay. I almost
Is
called
it
him
Wham or
Finn.
Wham? Whim,
I
Wham.
think it's Whim Fern
Wham.
for the rebellious girl.
Lobot Jr.
Yeah, I like her actually.
I like
With
them
the
all.
visor. I
was
like
funny.
the way the visor comes up and then her hair goes back. I was like, that's actually dope.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I think it's a good attention to detail. But
Yeah.
yeah, you were listening to names. It's Wim, Fern. I don't remember the other two kids' names.
Neil
Thank you, Neil.
and
And then what's her name?
And then the girl with the cool visor thing. Yeah.
Lobot.
Yeah, visor girl.
Lobot Jr. Why is Lobot? Why not Lobot Jr.?
Lobot Jr. Because I think it isn't actually the same for her. It's not into her skull. I think she just wears it.
You don't
I
know
think
that.
so.
No, you're probably.
It's hard to say. Her name is KB.
KB, that's what it was. I was like, I know it's not even like a full word. It's like just initials.
Yeah, it's very. Everyone has a very short name. Like kind of. I kind of anticipate like kind of piratey crew. It just reminds me of that. It's just like
Yeah.
like it's cute. It's funny.
But
I like
I
it.
feel you with Ken when you were bringing up the whole like transporting you to another place with the action figure scene and the two of them, you know, reenacting like a little lightsaber duel. And he's like, oh, something's in my eye. Like I
Yeah.
love that stuff. But then when it came to like the world building of the place, the suburbia track homes, just I'm telling you, something about seeing like freshly trimmed hedges and shit in Star Wars, and like
But I think
panels.
that's part of the point.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
don't know, dude. I felt like I was in my neighborhood.
No, I agree, but I think it's supposed to be like off-putting.
Exactly.
there's something
feel
weird about
it's
this
very
world or
different
something.
from the
It
Star Wars
is.
universe, and they want you
It
to
just
know
feels
it too.
lazy, is what I mean. And
Yeah.
I know you're right. It does feel different because it seems, like out of place, but at the same time it's intentional.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like too structured and organized.
I mean, like the only other time that I remember seeing anything like this is when they're literally implying that these characters are Nazis, you know, with the fascist army, or like the ISB type of stuff, like in Andor, you know. And that's the only time like you see like that much organization and kind of cleanliness that from what I can think of or like experience, you know, where it's not very ceremonial, or there's like there's not too much culture involved with it. Like it's money. That's what it looks like. It just looks like rich. It just kind of looks like, you know, like when you think of Star Wars, like Naboo, like tons of culture like around that city. Like it's clean. There's not a lot of crime. Like you can see politics. Like everyone, like you can see the culture like kind of just seeping out of that world, you know. And,
Right.
And
Like
a
it
couple
feels
other ones.
like another world. This just feels like Earth, but like advanced.
Future. Yeah, exactly. You know, and you're right. So I could see why you say like it feels lazy, because it's just like, okay, it's just like it looks like futuristic slop, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can
I
see
guess we'll
why.
see if there's a specific reason, or if it was just like, or if it was just pure laziness.
Yeah, just to be like, oh, these are their ordinary kids about to be taken out of their ordinary lives for a pirate adventure, you know, and it's a fucking Goonies type of shit or
Dude,
something.
that probably is what it is. You're probably on the money. Like they're trying to just create a
got it
stark
down.
contrast
Yeah.
between like being on like this spaceship and being in like suburbia. That is funny. I think one of the weirdest parts, or I guess I don't know.
That's how short
but,
this
like,
fucking
the
episode.
whole. No, I think the weirdest part was that whole test thing. The
Mhm.
whole like.
Oh, the
whole
Futurama career
reason-
thing?
Yeah, the whole reason that this kid found the Jedi Temple was because he woke up late and he got on his bike and he didn't just follow the bus. He tried to take a shortcut, which to me didn't seem like a shortcut. It seemed like it would have been easier just to follow the road. But then also afterwards, after he's like telling his dad about it, like this other girl, Fern, like she's like immediately, I know exactly where he's talking about. Like he says the woods and a shortcut. Like how did she know exactly where the hell he meant?
Yeah, it's quite convenient that she's like, I knew exactly where I was going.
Yeah, it's like that's such a vague statement. There's no way you knew where he meant.
Yeah. You hear that, Lucas? Ken is calling bullshit. So watch yourself. No,
That's right.
I feel you. It's very weird. Like little, if you kind of zone in on a couple things like that, you get very like, how exactly, you know?
Yeah, it's not a huge problem, but you know.
The main character, he's fucking neglected like a motherfucker by his, I'm assuming, single parent.
His dad's such a stick in the
Yeah.
mud. I gotta get to work.
Yeah, I gotta
Well,
work.
The same thing could be said about the other girl and her mom. Like,
Oh yeah, very good point.
True.
Where she went to the school to complain, say like, oh, like that's how it felt. Like it seemed like her grades were
Yeah.
slipping, and she's like, oh, don't worry, I complained for you and got him to fix it. You know, it's like really like you did some Karen bullshit to fix that, where it was clearly a problem or a call for help or attention. You know, for a troubled teen or preteen, and you just completely
Classic.
ignore it. It's like very on the money, like where these kids have such small problems that are affecting like their lives in the biggest way and shaping them in a really strange way too, so which kind of pushes them away to this fucking kind of fantastical little like 80s adventure type of thing like that, and which is like a trope that I would avoid at all costs, you know, when it comes to like a movie. Like I've actually never seen Goonies. Like I haven't seen Goonies. I like it, like the first two It's from like back in the 80s. Like I love that shit, you know.
Yeah.
Different vibe, but little kids on an adventure, like what Stand By Me, like that stuff, like just doesn't really appeal to me. I'm really surprised. I thought the kid actors were pretty good too.
Honestly, yeah. They did a damn good job.
They're annoying as fuck, but I feel like they played the part exactly down to a
they
T.
nailed the annoyingness.
Yeah,
they
of like
nailed it.
boys and girls arguing, you know? It's like, it's so weird too, because like when you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a show not focused on adults, like, okay, probably teenagers or something like that, you know? Like, but it's like they chose such a younger demographic of characters than I would have thought of or assumed, but it's working really, it works for me.
It does.
I think it's
Yeah.
interesting. It works.
Yeah, because all the bickering, all the stuff, all the dialogue is like they somehow nailed. Like it doesn't feel like no, a kid wouldn't actually argue about. Like they were like, I claimed it, no, I did, and like actually, so we'll get inside first, and then we'll claim the inside.
They're not
So
doing the
technically-
acolyte chants.
Yeah, it's like it makes sense. I'm like, okay, you know, this is all believable. They're children in a very like they have nothing to worry about in a world where nothing else is like a worry to them. They just go to school. Like that's exactly what those kids would be like. So I'm like on board for it.
Where does what time frame does this take place in Star Wars?
Yeah, the New Republic thing, right? So
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
after, right? This
new
is supposed to
trilogy?
be modern.
Right
I think,
after the new
yeah.
trilogy,
I don't know about
Because of the-
that far.
because of the credits, I thought.
That's why I think it's after episode 6.
Okay.
I think. It threw me off when I heard New Republic, because I was like, it reminded me like the Ahsoka kind of thing.
I don't even know if they said New Republic in the show. I just assumed it because of the little logo, like on the money thing.
Right.
It had the little rebel like kind of thing on there, so I just assumed.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I kind of assumed it was after episode 6 as well, but I mean, I guess it doesn't really affect too much so far.
Yeah, for real. I guess
Could
like
be either.
I'm waiting for
2
them
years
just
after the fall of the Empire. So yeah, after Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
That makes sense. Because I was like, because depending where they're at, like, oh, there's going to be, like, a small group of stormtroopers somewhere and stuff like that. And, like, oh, we got to get past like, a checkpoint, blah, 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 type of shit like that. Or they're randomly going to throw that in at some point.
Yeah.
Just kind of thing. Plus, like, I'd rather see stormtroopers than First Order troopers, you know, type of shit, anyways.
Agreed.
If I had to see anything.
I feel like they haven't done anything within that time frame of Star Wars. There's nothing within the sequel trilogy time frame, so like they never use any of the New Order stuff.
They
There's
probably
nothing
are too
after episode
scared.
9.
They're like, what? We don't
Probably,
want to
dude.
make
I would be.
like we don't want to do anything that's new, you know, like or set anything in stone or some shit like that. Probably that I would say like, hey, they're listening to fans. They know that shit's garbage, but like they're clearly not. Like they make fucking awful show after awful show. I was driving on the way home from work, you know, to do the review, and you know what popped in my mind is the storyline. I don't even know what show it's from, honestly, because of the slop that I've seen the last couple of years. Is the storyline of the Doctor going through like the Americanization little program to turn him into an actual like citizen and away from the Empire, and where the short-haired little twerp betrayed them or something was that Mandalorian?
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Pershing or whatever.
Yeah, that shit where they were talking
I
about.
hated that.
Was it the clone?
Re-education.
Was it the clones? What was he doing? Clone research? Is that what was he doing?
Yeah, he was doing clone genetics research, and he went to go steal back his stuff. Remember, and that one
Yeah.
girl like, misled him. Yeah.
Yeah, God, I was just thinking of that, and I was like, man, they fucking, like, I'm so glad, like, I'm so thankful. Like, yeah, we're just gonna have a suburban neighborhood with a couple kids and some pirates. Like, all right, fuck yeah, give it to me. Like, give it to me right now. Fuck yeah. It's like, really, we got a Yoda's son as a Jedi. Are you sure you don't want that? It's like, no, God, no. Like, give me the pirates small scale Star Wars series. I like the first episode. They left off at a really cool cliffhanger where I was like, man, like, where the fuck? Like, I wanted to see more, but it was a 2-episode premiere, thankfully.
Yep. Yeah. I think it worked really well. I think they introduced the world. Granted, I think it was a little bit slow. There were some like little weirdnesses.
Yes,
to it,
close.
but overall,
Very
they
slow.
introduced the world. They got us on this crazy ship and blasted off into space. So like, it's a great way to end the first episode. Now you're very curious about what happens next and how these kids are going to survive on this ship.
Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the series and stuff like that. I want to see more of our pirate werewolf guy. I'd say like my favorite part of the show so far of the episode was just the opening scene. Had to be.
Yeah. It was a pretty dope scene. I hope we see.
I liked it. It built up so much suspense, and I was like, "Whoo, this is good."
Are we doing ratings then, boys?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm
gonna
go 7.5.
Nice solid 7.
7. Neutral territory for this one.
Yeah. I don't want to go too high. I
Okay.
think 7's a pretty solid start.
7's a good one. So there you guys go for episode 1 of Skeleton Crew. You got a nice good old 7 from the Foundry. But if you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to leave some support for the slugs down below. Share the video with your friends and let us know your thoughts on the episode or this series down below in the comments, please, guys. And we'll see you later on the next Foundry review.
Peace.
Bye.